All righty. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the live out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Rocho, brought to you by the Sportscast. Today's May 26, 2021. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the Sportscast on all your channels, YouTube's, Periscope, and iTunes. And if you're on iTunes, we now have the Jersey Boys Sportscast podcast. What you think, Byron?
Yeah, what is it? I'm not, I got a flip phone, man. I don't know what that stuff is.
I'm gonna show. I'm gonna see what I mean. Just don't talk crap about technology. We got our own little logo. So if you tell your friends if they use Apple or they go to a podcast, just look up the Jersey Boys Sportscast, and it's me and you, and it's all our shows. It's everybody's. It's pretty cool. So just anybody's got an iPhone. Go.
You
iTunes.
went from here to here.
Yeah, so tell them to leave a review, tell them a like, and so forth. And please leave us a rating and review. That'll help us out tremendously. You could also visit our website, which has a lot of our other shows and the schedule and things that are coming up. Also, subscribe to our newsletter and on Twitter, because our producers and our sportscasts are always giving out breaking news. Check out our app, like we told you, and subscribe to YouTube on Sportscast and hit notifications, and wherever you're at, I'll let you know that we're on. So we're now streamed live on Facebook and on YouTube, and we're ready to get going on all these channels. And Byron, before we introduce our regularly special guest host, how's it going over there? You said it was hot?
Yeah, it was hot. 95 degrees hot. 95 degrees. I just started back doing Meals on Wheels. I'm getting yelled at by the seniors already. So it was like a great day in the heat.
I still don't understand how you can get yelled at, how a police officer could bother you at your size. Like, I mean, I just know between you and Andre, like you guys are massive guys. You know what I mean? I just either they just, I mean, you're both very, humble looking guys, nice. You don't have that mean look to you. You know, I must have a pit bull look, but you guys like are huge, and I can't understand. It must have been the spandex. I'm telling you,
no spandex. It was too hot to put spandex on. When it goes over a certain temperature, you don't put stuff like on there because it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Well, I'll tell you my story. And we get to Jersey Shore and spandex came out for the shorts. You thought you were all bad working out and stuff. When me and my boys went to the beach with spandex on, that was the worst freaking. I ain't gonna tell you how I got shriveled up, bro. I'll never in my life again. So I'm just gonna tell you, I experienced it in the Jersey Shore. So it's hot over there. All right, listen, I want to welcome our special guest host, and we enjoy having him on our show. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's he's the technical side of sports. He knows the ins and outs. He's been on many high school football championships teams. He's coached in college. He's just an all-around good guy, Miami bred guy who doesn't like the Dolphins, thank God. But my man, and actually he's kind of a family member. He's my brother-in-law's brother, so he's kind of my brother. So Andre Gisper, welcome to the show, to the Jersey Boys Sportscast.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Now we love you, and we like when we have you on the show. We told the producers, "Oh, that's awesome. He's great." So welcome to the show. How's it going over there? You're in Ohio, no?
Yep, I'm in Cleveland, just outside of Cleveland, and things are great. We had 95 degrees, and then all of a sudden we had hail.
Oh my God! Really? Are they like Texas hail? Those big softballs?
No, thank God. Thank God, no. It was just enough hail that for a guy out, who likes to work outside, had to go inside. So I went inside and kind of turned on multiple computers and had on one screen work, and the other screen I had today's Air Force graduation. Class of 2021 got dismissed today. So big shout out to
the Air Force.
Air Force, the United States Air Force Academy had their graduation today.
Oh, awesome. Well, I get a shout out to a good friend of mine who doesn't watch the show, and Byron knows her, Michelle Sisolak. She was in the Air Force, and she she rose to the highest rank you could possibly rise for a person that enlisted in the Air Force. She's got her I think her bachelor or master's degree. She was with that at Pentagon. I mean, she spent 20 something years. So she's done a great job. So shout out to Michelle. She's from her hometown. She was a fantastic cheerleader. Her sister was a great basketball player. I think both of them, right, Byron? Yeah. You know the older one, right? Yeah. So shout out to the Air Force, and just by the way, she is man. What's this? I don't know.
Don't forget her two sons are in the Air Force right now.
Oh shoot, that's right. Her two sons, I think, Trey and Tyler. Yep. They're in the Air Force also, so we got to give them a little props too. So they follow the mom in the Air Force. So thanks for serving. And also, who won the Sixth Man of the Year in basketball? You guys know?
What, Randall?
No, not Randall. Randall's a starter.
He was the improved guy.
He was the what?
The improved, most improved, or whatever award he won.
Oh, here, hold on a second. I get to you right now. Here. Jordan.
I didn't realize they announced that today.
Yeah, she's a good friend of the family. Jordan, man, dude is awesome. He scored like 40-something points. I'll get his name before we go, but a shout out to his family, great family. She knows him really well. He won Sixth Man of the Year, and he actually is really helping. And he's with Utah, so he's got a chance for a ring. So that's awesome. Congratulations to the Air Force. And we will get it on from there. All righty. So we got a good show going on today. And look, I got another computer. I've got a brand new computer. I'll do this later. Let's go Facebook. So let me ask you a question, Byron. You got a bunch of stuff. Yes, I say you did Jet stuff. So let's get about
the Jet fans too. Might as well,
Yeah. So
a little love.
So I was talking about here. I want to go to the website here. The Giants, they seem to have signed a lot of the free agents. Remember you were talking about they haven't even started signing the free agents. They waived maybe one or two guys, but they signed a lot of good free agents. They're making like crazy moves.
Well, we'll see how that all equates when the season starts.
Okay, can you just all right? Time out. Give me somebody that you're confident that they're going to produce. How's that? Because everybody else is like, well, we'll see. And okay, give me someone you're confident is going to produce.
Like who?
Give me somebody that you're confident is going to. You're not. Well, we'll see. That's all I'm saying.
For the Giants?
No, for just anybody.
I'm going to pick myself.
You ain't playing.
I'm confident in myself. How about that?
I know you are.
I honestly think Saquon Barkley,
yes,
is they're gonna kind of limit his reps. I think they're gonna go ahead and limit his reps and let him get rehabbed the right way. Because he still has another year on top of that. And I think if you look at some of the moves that they've made, it's a lot to free up cap space for not this season, but the following season. So I think they're making, they're playing chess. They're playing chess. I think they're kind of gauging this year to kind of figure out where they're going to be, so that they can go after some free agents and possibly some draft picks.
Really? So
that's just my personal opinion. I have absolutely zero data to prove that one. Normally I'm the data analytics guy, and I can tell you I have zero data on that one. That's just a gut feeling. I feel they're gonna just limit his reps and keep him healthy for the next year for a good run the following year.
Because you figure they loaded up with running, but you figure him, they got the Booker.
That's what I was gonna say.
They got the other draft pick that they got. I think it was a 6th round pick, late pick, a late pick running back, rookie guy. So they loaded up a running back. So hopefully they don't throw this guy out there too soon. He gets hurt. Or next we need to run him. Try to run the poor guy out of town. But it's going to take a while for him to come back from a knee injury like that.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a reconstructive knee surgery. That's usually an 18 months of rehab and whatnot. And I understand that genetics and everything, and he's they're saying that he's doing amazing. He's doing amazing coming back, but I just think that he's they're just gonna keep them. They're gonna hold the throttle on that a little bit.
Yeah, because I figured the worst thing that ever happened. Well, not worst thing, but when Adrian Peterson came back as quickly as he did, now they're figuring that everybody can be like Adrian Peterson coming back like that. Peterson is just a freak of nature, for him to come back the way he did.
And to play as long as he did.
Yeah. And he's still trying to hang in there.
Yeah. But I was glad that's why we got the running backs. Remember, I don't know. From my perspective, I'm seeing that we're starting to build a giant team, meaning we're loading up the running backs, we're loading up the defense, we're stacking up tons of defensive backs.
You just say that one other thing.
What's that?
The offensive line.
Offensive line, yeah. I understand. I didn't say that, but I'm just saying I had to put those in that order. We always need an offensive line, but it's almost, the offensive line are the unsung heroes. Right.
When they won we've been through this before. When they won all those Super Bowls, they always had a very good to great offensive line. They all, and a bunch of those got to be either, undrafted, they're late picks and stuff, and they all seem to gel, those years that they won the Super Bowl. But it starts at the offense and defensive lines. That's where it starts.
There is no doubt, but I'll make a comment real quick. One of the hosts of the Bamber Standard on Tuesdays, Justin Riley, said Byron can't take the heat. He'll never make it down here on the South.
I wouldn't either, man. No way.
He can't handle the cold. He can't handle the heat. Let me tell you something. You know what's funny? It's 95 degrees in your two places. It was beautiful here today because you know how far it is, Andre, when it's like maybe 80 something. I don't think it was 95, but then there's a breeze. That breeze is amazing. It makes a huge difference. It's like, man, what a beautiful day. So it was
just so Justin knows, I've been in the South, man. I was stationed in Fort Hood, Texas. You don't get no hotter than Texas. I've been in Texas. I've been in the desert, Arizona, California. I can take the heat. I choose not to be in the heat.
Yeah, you were in the heat for a short period of time. Remember, we live in the South. There's a big difference. You were visiting the South. So, hey, listen, but let me tell you something that came up. You brought a good point. Yes, they had offenses. They also had running backs. And obviously the running backs did well. You can't do great without a line if you're running back, which is my whole argument that Saquon didn't have anybody, but that's a different story. But the funny part is, and I want to bring this up, what came up, I read an article recently that there's a commercial that Eli Manning they said they was taking a jab. By the way, you guys see my shirt? That Eli Manning was taking a shot at the Chargers, right? I got to see the commercial. I haven't seen the commercial while I was reading the article. And the article pretty much was just like bashing Eli that the Chargers got the better quarterback and he's, the numbers that Rivers put up. And I'm going to ask you this question coming here and all this kind of stuff, right? And they go, and if it wasn't for the great defenses that Eli had, he wouldn't have had the Super Bowls. I'm just sharing this with you. And I'm saying to you that, even when the Giants win the other two Super Bowls, they always talk about the defense is all I'm saying to you, right? I mean, even though the offensive line, it's the unsung heroes. Byron, there's a phrase. Do they call it the silent killers or the unsung heroes, right? They don't get the credit they deserve. So I was only bringing that up, number one. And then I'll leave it with this. I don't want your opinion. And then the last piece I didn't like about that is the same thing they do with every quarterback, particularly one, Dan Marino, right? They go, well, he had this. Eli's record is whatever they wanted to say about Eli. My point being is he won 2 Super Bowls. He made the decision. It was a great decision for him. He won 2 Super Bowls. And on that day, he was also the MVP. All right. So, man, Doug Williams barely played any well, but he was an MVP that day. I think he deserves credit to be an MVP in the Super Bowl. Yep. Eli was there twice. And then the story was, if we would put Phillip Rivers on that team, he would have done the Giants would have won 5 or 6. I'm going to end it there and tell me, I hate those kind of comments, thinking they could just interchange a quarterback on any team that wins, and that same quarterback will win.
No.
Byron?
Eli's personality fit in perfect with New York. He'd have been fine. He was fine where he was because he was sort of that like a laid back guy. He didn't let anything bother him. Phillip Rivers, according to the things I've seen and read, it was more of a he chirps and chirps and chirps and all this other stuff. He would have never made it in New York because he would have got up, came to New York, said something crazy to the sports writers or whatever, and they'd have been all over top of him. He wouldn't have been able to stand the heat. He would not have been able to play in New York City. Ben Roethlisberger would have been able to play there, but Phillip Rivers, no.
Andre?
I think more Phillip Rivers' wife would have been more of an issue than Phillip Rivers, being that she apparently has half of the damn reporters on speed dial. Wow. and on Twitter and everything.
Really?
Oh, dude, that's crazy. I can only imagine the New York media just devouring that. The other thing is, there is aptitude and talent, but then there is the guy who's willing to go through hell and high water for you. I don't know a whole lot of people who came from the pedigree of Eli Manning and was still willing to bring the lunch pail. This is not a kid that came from the inner city and hurting. This is not a kid that mommy and daddy were struggling to pay the bills. This is a kid that Archie Manning did very well with his money. Right. It's not like the Manning family was going broke. It's not a kid that mommy and daddy were struggling. At the end of I hear myself.
I just started off.
Okay, but at the end of the day, he came in with that lunch pail, and he worked his butt off to prove that he belonged there, to prove that he needed to stay there, and to prove to himself he needed to be better than his brother.
But just in general, a guy that you could say hey, his numbers not as crazy and so forth, but to stay with one team for his career and go to the Super Bowl and be the MVP of the Super Bowl twice. You could say whatever you want, but the beauty I love about football, and I love, I didn't like Barkley when he played. I love Barkley as an analyst, everything. And he argued with the other guys. He goes, guys, when they talked about Brady, he goes, look, you can't compare the Super Bowl to the NBA because it's the 7th game in every playoff. There's no next game. You can't come back from a down 3-1. That's it. So a guy who plays in the Super Bowl against an undefeated Brady and wins, regardless of the catch or not, still won the game, right? And then there was some other
someone had to throw that ball.
Exactly. Someone had to get away from the. He was caught. You had to break away. But the deal was, I forgot who it was. Doing Buyer, you were making temperament. They used to say that some guys would get up to Eli and he goes, Eli would just look at him with a smile. All right. And just keep going. Like nothing fazed him.
That's what you want from a quarterback. You want to just nice, even keel and do your thing.
Right. So imagine him. Imagine Phillip Rivers with Tiki Barber being a pain in the rear end, with some of the guys they had in that line, in the receiver core. Who's the real tall guy that I love? That he
got Burris.
Yeah, they got in trouble for the gun Plexico Burris would have probably had a problem with quarterbacks like
he had Burris. Jeremy Shockey.
Ooh. Jeremy Shockey would have rocked. He would have knocked him out. Because Jeremy Shockey was crazy. So, that's a great point. His temperament was perfect for New York. I mean, look at all of the quarterbacks that were there. And then the next part I want to ask real quick is outside of the Phillip Rivers and Eli, and I guess you kind of answered it, Andre, but I want to expand upon it. The comment when they take one, I can give you an example for Marino. I can give you an example. They said they said the opposite about Joe Montana. Okay, so if you put Marino on that 49ers team, he would have won the same amount of Super Bowl. Or even today, they'll say, and so I don't want to just dog on Marino because I met him. He's been pretty cool when I met him. But if you put another quarterback on that team, oh my God, he would have done a lot better, right? Or he would have won. I don't think you could do that in football.
At the end of the day, it's really the chemistry between quarterback, coordinator, and receivers. And I know that sounds that sounds very close-minded, and I got my blinders up that it's all the flashy guys. But in reality, as much as I love running backs, the running backs have become more of a possession game, or when you're using your running backs, you're playing the keep away game. If you have a really talented running back, that's when you're able to go ahead and use them as an offensive weapon to to another level. Someone like a Barkley, or someone like Emmitt Smith. Let's go back to history. Emmitt Smith. How many teams would have loved a Barry Sanders or an Emmitt Smith? But at the end of the day, would they match up with the scheme? There are some coordinators that are just blessed, and they have they get a quarterback that just meshes with their scheme, that meshes with their philosophy. And it used to be that these coordinators used to stick around for 5-6 years with that quarterback and develop together, and then become a winning product, and then move on. Now these coordinators, they're lucky if they stick around for 2 years. I mean, the Giants have gone through 3 coordinators in 4 years.
Jason Garrett's leaving, right? Once he
come on, man. As soon as he wins 7 games, as soon as he wins 10 games, that's it. He's already on the list again too.
Well, according to Byron, it's not going to be this year.
Not this year.
No, but and that's the problem. And that's the problem. Now, all of a sudden, the magic number in college is if you win 10 games, now all of a sudden throw your resume out there because you're going to catch a better deal. And in the NFL, it's 12 games. If you win 12 games, that's just enough to go ahead and get you a better deal somewhere else. Instead of actually developing and being a powerhouse. That's as much as I hate to admit it,
like Tampa.
That's I hate to admit it.
Tampa's one. Tampa's building a powerhouse. 2, I don't like the fact that none of their coaches got jobs or interviews, and most of them were minority coaches.
No. Seriously, I hate to admit it, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you look at them over the course of 20 to 30 years, even their assistant coaches, they don't have a whole lot of turnover from year to year. They might lose 1 or 2 guys, but they don't lose a whole lot of guys from year to year. And notice the consistency where they're always going to the playoffs. I'm not saying that they're the standard. By no means am I saying are the Steelers the standard. I am just using them as an example. Something that Mike Tomlin was blessed to take over an awesome team and not mess it up. And the GMs
and an awesome organization, because how many coaches?
It's amazing over
Byron. How many coaches have they had?
The 4? 3? The last 50 years, probably.
I mean, it was Chuck Noll, Cowher, and Tomlin. I don't know who else was before that. This is about as far as I can go back. But Byron, what do you think about that? Well, first of all, the response to Andre, if you notice the players he said, they're all divas, so they got to get along. Right? If you got who was it? You said the quarterback, the receivers,
the quarterback, the wide receivers, and the offensive coordinator. If they don't all mesh, we got problems.
So you got 2 divas on there. Byron, what do you think about just swapping out a quarterback on a winning team, a Super Bowl winning team, or a multi-Super Bowl? You really think that someone else could have just taken over Troy Aikman and won the same amount of Super Bowls? And he went 1-15.
No. I'm going to expand. I want to go another direction real quick. You have San Francisco, prime example, with Shanahan out there. They have a winning quarterback, Garoppolo. He's a good quarterback. He's not great, but he's good enough he got him to the Super Bowl. Now what are you getting ready to do with him? They're getting ready to replace him with Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. Because I guess, with Shanahan, this kid fits their system that you can plug in this guy. This is what I want to run my system. So, same thing, you got a winning quarterback. They're ready to lose his job, eventually, either this year or next year, to another guy that fits the system better.
Yeah, true, except for they didn't win a Super Bowl.
But they go to the Super Bowl. That's the whole goal. That's the goal, to get there.
You remember, but then the other day you were giving Jim Kelly crap for going 4 times and he didn't win. So which one?
Well, Fran Tarkenton went to a whole bunch of them too. Yeah, him too. There's a bunch of them. I can throw a bunch of guys.
Okay, so then make up your mind. It can't be. I don't care.
The whole idea.
Nobody remembers unless you've been there four times.
The whole idea is to get to the game. Okay. You want to get to it. Garoppolo got to the Super Bowl.
How many people really know, like, who the Giants, other than Brady, who the Giants beat in the Super Bowl, other than us?
Say what?
How many people really know who the Giants beat in the Super Bowl, other than the Patriots, other than us? Who knows? Who knows? I guarantee you most of these South Florida people don't know the team that the Dolphins beat in the Super Bowl that ended their season with an undefeated season. Do you know?
Washington Redskins.
No.
Not you. Why would I ask you? They live down here.
I know.
I don't even. How old were you when they won in '72? Were you born?
I was barely a speck in my dad's.
He wasn't even born, bro.
Well, I was born. I was 10.
I was born too. I was 7, 8. But my point being is most of them don't know. So all I'm saying to you is I understand them mixing the matching, but I don't think. Okay, that's perfect. I don't think San Francisco's going to Super Bowl this year.
No, I'm just saying the point I'm trying to get is that they have a winning quarterback. The only reason they're going to replace this guy is because he's a little fragile, this guy. And now, they traded all these picks, their future, to get this guy that they figure fits their system better and who's going to get them to where they want to be, which is back to the Super Bowl.
Right. But okay, I'm going to answer that in two parts. One, when Montana was winning those Super Bowls, they were saying if you just replace him with this other guy, they would have won. Okay, so I disagree with that, number one. Number two, San Francisco's organization, that's how they roll. Because Alex Smith took him, I believe, to a Super Bowl when Harbaugh was there. And they got rid of him. And he ended up being like the comeback player of the year. He did well in Kansas City, right?
And then again in
Washington, right? So they did that. Kaepernick, they did the same thing with Kaepernick, right? So there's something about ownership or a history there that they're trying to find the next Montana or Young.
Well, they also did it with Montana. Montana got replaced by Steve Young.
Yeah, it's the DeBartolo way. It's the DeBartolo way. Ever since the DeBartolo has taken over the San Francisco 49ers. It's what have you done for me lately? And if you haven't done much, he ain't gonna renew you. And he's not like Jerry Jones, who falls in love with some players and pays some a little bit better than others, and treats some of them. It takes
a long time,
or it takes forever to sign one. But I really feel that that's just the DeBartolo way. I mean, I've been exposed to that organization enough to say that everybody is always on pins and needles and walking on eggshells because they know if they screw up, they're not back next year. Doesn't matter if you're the low man on the totem pole or the shiniest star on the team. If you're screwing up, and DeBartolo will get rid of you quick, fast, and in a hurry.
They even got rid of Harbaugh when he was winning.
Yeah.
I will say this. I just think that's a weird organization. That's all I'm saying to you. I mean, I'm whatever they do, Garoppolo, whoever comes in there, they've historically done that, right? I mean,
yes, that's correct.
Historically has been they've shifted no matter what. I just named 3 or 4 recent quarterbacks where they're doing it. Number one, and I think number two, it's getting back to this one guy gave. Say whatever you want about Tebow. I love Tebow, so I don't care. Whatever. I'm just gonna leave it alone. I love Tim Tebow. I believe in him. I believe in everything. But there was one player that stood up for him and said, "Look, Tebow was ahead of his time, and they didn't give him a shot because what they're saying is the type of quarterback he is the type of quarterback that's coming out of the college now." The running quarterback, the guy that's going to score for you.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that?
It was that long ago.
I'm sorry. I beg
time out. Wait a second. Time out. look, when Randall Cunningham, Cordell Stewart, when all those guys were playing, they said you can never win with that type of quarterback.
Yeah, and you just mentioned people that they could throw. They could pass the ball. Tebow was not a passer. He's not a passer like those guys were. Not even close.
I was just making a comment from a
I'm
comment.
just throwing how I feel about Tebow and everything, so we're not going to get into that one.
I'm not going to get into it. I'm just saying to you that the
if you want to
like
say who
Trey Lance is moving, they're going, excuse me, 1 second, Andre, they're moving towards that kind of guy. You know what I mean? If you look at the quarterbacks that they're wanting to have, except then it's weird. They're going to go with the Burrows. They're going to go with these other, I can't tell. I mean, there's so many different talent out there now. Go ahead, Andre. Sorry.
I think the one who truly cracked the mold of the pro passer quarterback and totally changed everybody's mind was actually Michael Vick. When Michael Vick went ahead and proved to the world that I can win even with a bad team, it changed everybody's mind of not looking at those athletic dual threat quarterbacks.
Let me tell you, that guy threw bullets, though. I mean,
that guy was amazing. Did you know that he could throw left and right?
Yeah.
Not only did you see him throw with his right, but he could also throw with his left.
Well, he was lefty. You mean not only could he throw his left,
sorry.
he could throw his right.
Yeah, he was. The dude was amazing. The dude was amazing. If it wasn't for, I'm not gonna touch it. For the 2-year stint that he had to do, it's crazy.
Yeah. I used to love watching him play, though, man. I don't know about you, Byron, but I couldn't wait to see him do something.
But you had Randall Cunningham that was before him. Look what Randall Cunningham did when he got Randy Moss, Chris Carter in Minnesota. They went 15-1 the year that he had talent on a real team, not for Philadelphia, where want to run around back there, make a play, and the defense will save you later on. That's exactly what happened to this guy when he was in Philadelphia. He was before Michael Vick.
Well, now let me ask you a question. I'm not sure if Randall Cunningham is the one who started it, not started or not. But to me, the very first time that it started happening was when I saw Randall Cunningham. I think it was against the Giants too. It's sad. When he stuck out the ball when he was running and he crossed the plane just with the ball, it's almost like that's when everybody realized that's actually a rule. So he scored a touchdown by getting the point of the ball on the white line.
Just get it past the line, the imaginary line.
Yeah. So I never, in other words, now that's why you see people reaching, but I've never saw that before. And you probably weren't born yet, Andrew, but I'm just saying, you remember that, Byron? He stuck the ball out. He ran. He went all in. He stuck his hand out with the ball. Boom, touchdown. Now everybody's just trying to get that ball. They're even jumping over. Think about it. But some guys mess up when they do that. You're taking a risk.
That's why some coaches tell you don't do it when you get to the goal line. A lot of them tell you don't.
Some running backs try to jump over just with the athleticism, and then the other ones are jumping over trying to stick out the ball.
Bad idea.
Not a good idea. So I don't know, but anyhow, that was Randall Cunningham was a great quarterback. Cordell Stewart was awesome, I thought. And I mean, awesome in the aspect that he was like a receiver. He also played quarterback. Again, a Pittsburgh player, right? That he did it there. So anyhow, we went from there. I just wanted to go from one. When they started dogging my boy Eli, I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. All right, so and then we got a lot of good free agent signings. Okay. And then Byron, you want to start? Where were we last time on we can get to some of the Jets. You're going to have to pull that up because I didn't pull it up.
We'll do that later.
We'll do that later from my boy, Richie Vargas. All right. So what do we got here, Byron?
35. I think it was Antonio Pierce where we stopped.
Yes, it was. Oh, I have it on another one. So why don't you start it because you probably have it somewhere.
I don't have it anywhere.
Part 2 of all 5 top. Okay, let me see. I got it. Okay, so we started with Justin Tuck. Oh, you know who you left off the Jets though was one of my favorite players, Wayne Corbett.
Yeah, I know.
I liked him because he was tiny and he went to Hofstra.
He lives in Colts Neck too.
Oh yeah, he's a Jersey boy. Hey, Andre, did you know that Fran Tarkenton played for the Giants?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I didn't know that. He put a lot of good guys there, man. All right, so we were at we didn't get to what number we were at? 30.
35.
Antonio Pierce. Okay, so then we got Jumbo Elliott. No, I think we did talk about him, but let's go. No, we did. Remember we talked about Rosie Greer, and I showed you the
thing with two heads.
The movie with the two heads.
Ray Milland and
Andre, when you get a chance, look up Rosie Greer, The Man with Two Heads.
One of the worst movies in the history of movie making.
You gotta watch. You just gotta watch it. It scared the crap out of us, though, Byron. Yes or no?
Yes, it did.
Okay, and both guys. It scared me and it scared Byron, and we come from a rough town. But I think just the way that guy looked was scary, right? What they did was they put another guy's head. Oh man, what I do? They put they put Ray Milland's head, a white guy's head, on Rosie Greer's body. And I believe the Ray Milland was a prejudice guy, right?
He was a bigot.
He was a bigot. So they put a bigot on Rosie Greer's body. So they had both of them going after each other. So you just gotta watch. I mean, the film. Even the filming is bad because there's some movies that are good movies and the filming is still bad. This was bad when it came out.
It was bad.
It was bad came out, but you got to see it just to laugh, and then at least you see Rosie Greer, and just the thought process is funny. But anyhow, that was. And then again, I associate Rosie Greer with the Rams. I associate Tarkenton with the Vikings, right? It's it's like I associate obviously Reggie Jackson with the Yankees, but even though everything was with the A's when he made all his records and stuff. But I didn't know this was pretty awesome for me because I didn't know those guys played and to play. Now, let me ask you a question. Is Sean O'Hara? I remember him. It's Damaris. I'm sorry. That has nothing to do with it. So we got Rosie Greer. All right. Fred Tarkenton. Rodney Hampton. Remember him, Andre?
Yes, I do. You correct me if I'm wrong. He was the wide receiver.
Running back. Yeah. And then we're down to Chris Snee. He was phenomenal. That was a good guard.
Coughlin's son-in-law.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he played. When did he play? Oh, he played when Coughlin was there.
He was a great guard, man. He was better. A couple of times. I think it was all pro. 2-3 times. Yeah, he was bad for Boston College.
Yeah, Chris Snee.
Homeboy left his wife for Coughlin's daughter.
He did?
Yeah.
I feel like we're like the Jersey Boys, Andre TMZ. Andre's our TMZ guy. when we talk about something, he goes, "Oh man, Phil Rivers has got the reporters on her speed dial." Oh, Chris Snee left his wife. Oh, breaking news! Chris Snee left his wife for Coughlin's daughter.
That's one way to make the team.
That's one and to ensure a job.
For a long time.
Yeah, for a long time, right? And marrying some money. Right? Coughlin did pretty well. That's good, Andre. That's awesome. All right, so we got you got Bart Oates. Bart Oates was another great center.
He was another guy from the USFL too. He played with the Philadelphia team in the USFL. That's where he came from. Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome. Jesse Armstead was one of my man. What'd you think about him? Do you remember him? Linebacker? Andre's too young.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Jesse Armstead is the dude from Miami, from the University of Miami.
Yeah, the U,
baby. That's what I was thinking about. He had to be from the University of Miami.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah, but you know what? You still haven't mentioned my favorite linebacker of all time, who played for the Giants.
Who?
Michael Barrow.
Ooh,
yeah, another University of Miami guy.
Is he on here?
Nope.
If he's not on there, you all should be shamed.
That's Byron's list.
That's Byron's list.
Michael Barrow.
Better linebackers.
Let me get MB on the phone, man. Hold on.
Speed dialer. Get him on the phone. All right. You know what, Byron? That's what we should have did. We should have brought. Maybe I'll do it. We'll try to break it down. The next batch, like keep their number, but like put them in linemen, linebackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then you could have a debate on the linebackers because we're going from offensive lineman to a receiver to someone else. It's a little harder to debate other than to say, oh, I remember him and so forth. But this was good. I'm telling you, I didn't know most of these players were on the Giants. I mean, to be honest with you, I didn't know. Joe Morrison, good receiver. Steve Owen, another tackle. But here's my man. Now, I'm going to give you a little TMZ on this guy. My man, Carl Banks. He's the one with the messed up skin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let me tell you, that guy was phenomenal. He had a probably all you guys did, Byron. I don't know, but all I know is when they were interviewing him, he had a binder of a book this big with his own scouting report for every team and every player he went against.
Nothing wrong with that.
Now imagine he also had other linebackers that were great. Imagine him having all that data.
I'm sure he showed the wealth too. He probably shared the wealth with everybody.
Oh, sure, except for LT, he didn't care.
He didn't need it.
He didn't need it.
He had to wake up for it anyway. You probably sleep during.
He used to. I heard he used to drive to practice in a golf cart.
Man.
You saw that picture of me and LT?
Yeah,
baby. But LT was awesome. I love hearing his sound, like his sound bites. Come on, baby. No, I'm coming after you. Oh, man, that was too easy. You got to get up now. I would not have wanted to play against him. I would not have wanted to play against that man. Okay, Carl Banks was phenomenal. But Carl Banks was part of that whole crew, right? It was Carl Banks, Carson.
Big Blue Wrecking Crew.
Yeah, they were phenomenal. Amani Toomer, wide receiver. Yes, I remember him. He was excellent. Excellent. I don't know who Red Badgrow is. It's 1930.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not that old either.
Oh, I thought such was your birthday.
No, my birthday is July, but that's another day.
What does July got to do with 1930?
I'm just letting you know it's July, man. I wasn't born in 1930. I was born in 1962. Just to be exact.
And all the hackers in the world now know one more thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Ken Strong, running back. I didn't know him here. So what made you?
Hall of Famer.
These guys. How'd you pick these guys if you didn't know like some of them?
A lot of ones like in the top 20, like probably about 3 or 4 of them are Hall of Fame players that people forgot. So that's what I was trying to do. Like the Red Badgrove and a couple of the other ones are on there that people just forgot through the years. And these guys were great players, for the Giants, 40, 50 years ago.
All right. Well, somehow I don't have under the top 20. So let's go to the top 20 next week. All right. You have your Jets piece? Let's pull up your Jets piece to see who you think.
Do you have the Jets piece?
You want me to pull it up?
If you don't want to. I got at 25, I got Bruce Harper. You remember him? Bruce
Yes.
Harper, running back, kick
Yes.
returner. Thomas Jones, running back. I think he came from Virginia Tech.
All right.
Running
Yes.
back. Ken O'Brien.
Yes, Ken O'Brien was good. He was quarterback, no?
Yep. From 80 for 9 years. I got Darrell Revis.
Yes.
At number
Revis Island.
Yep, 22. Pat Leahy, the kicker. Might as well put him on there. People forgot about him.
He's a kicker.
Yeah. Randy Rasmussen was a guard that played for them.
I remember him.
Played for the last Super Bowl. Dave Herman, the other guy, guard for them. John Abraham, remember him, defensive end.
Okay.
You're killing me. Matt Snell, fullback.
Snell, definitely. Yeah.
Played the Super Bowl. Emerson Boozer, the other guy, great running back they had. George Sauer, running wide receiver. Played with when Navy first got there.
Yeah.
And was one of his big targets, so he started getting hurt. Sean Ellis, defensive end. Number 14, Mo Lewis. I'm sure you know Mo Lewis.
Yeah.
Kevin Mawai, center. He played for them. Great player.
He was a Samoan, right?
Yeah.
Al Toon, his career.
Al Toon
because of concussions. Larry Granham, linebacker that played with them during the Super Bowl era. Winston Hill, another tackle that played a long time with them. Jerry Philbin, remember him, defensive end.
But do you notice that most of the guys who played long time have been linemen, offensive linemen.
Freeman McNeil, running back.
I like McNeil.
UCLA.
He was Irish, right?
Yeah, sure he was. Wesley Walker played the whole career with one good eye. Joe Klecko, definitely a guy that doesn't get the credit that he's due.
He was awesome.
He's been in the Hall of Fame years ago. My father insulted him in the bathroom one day. Met him so. It wasn't not dirty. My father we were at the New Jersey Hall of Fame induction thing with Sam Mill, all this other stuff, Edison. So my father goes to the bathroom and he's standing there, doing his thing. Joe Klecko walks in, was standing next to him. So my dad's sitting there, and I had just walked in. My dad's looking at him. I knew who Klecko. I'm looking at, and my father's eyeing the guy. He's looking him up and down, right? So my dad goes, "Well, who are you?" Joe Klecko, New York Jets, blah blah blah. Okay, well I'm a Giant fan. You guys suck. And just turn around and walk.
That's awesome.
We go back to the table. We're sitting at the table, big old table, all these people, Matumbo and all these people there. We're sitting at the table. Next, Klecko sitting there pointing, man, that guy is funny. He went mad. He was like, oh man, that guy right there is funny. I'm sitting there, I was like, thank God, the Klecko.
But Klecko was a good guy. He was a big country boy.
Oh yeah, he lived in used to live in Middletown. But he had a home in Marlboro.
He's one of those farmer kind of he was a good guy, man. Yeah. He was a good guy. All right, go ahead. What do you got?
Then I got number 4 is Mark Gastineau.
Yeah.
Curtis Martin, Hall of Famer. I got number 2 is Joe Namath, quarterback.
2? All right.
2.
Who's number 1?
Don Maynard, wide receiver.
Really? Al Maynard was really
wide
good.
receiver. I got him 1.
Yeah, there was something I was reading about Joe Namath. I forgot what it was. So we're going to move on a little bit. Let's see if we get some of this information with these Jeff fans out here. But real quick, it's driving me nuts, the news, because I keep hearing news on Twitter, and sometimes I'm working, and I thought there was a trade for Julio Jones, that they traded Jordan Love. I'm like, oh my God, we got something to talk about. The next thing I know, it's like they're thinking they're moving him to the Cardinals. Cardinals are going to be tough if Julio Jones goes there.
No.
So none of that's taking place.
No.
But, so where do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to end up?
Either he's going to play or he's not going to play.
Andre?
I think he's going to play. I think at no point. No, I think he's going to play for the Packers.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's going to just shut up and have to put up with it. At the end of the day, money talks and everything else walks.
It's funny. I had that conversation with Santiago today. He goes, "Do you think he's going to pay for Packers?" I'm like, "Look, I don't think so." But I've been hearing different pieces. But I can tell you this: if they got Julio Jones, if that really actually happened, then I could see him playing, because now he got rid of this guy, whatever. And he's been nice about Jordan Love, but he's going to be eating a lot of crow. But at the end of the day, money, like you said, money, if he gets paid and he wins, everybody forgets. It was like when Michael Vick had that situation, all the protesting, all that, all of a sudden he started winning. That all went away, and he got a $100 million contract.
Yeah, but the Green Bay, Andres knows, Green Bay has a weird setup with their whole the ownership thing, because I guess it's it's own the fans with the stocks and everything, and I guess because they got the president and the GM, and I guess I'm not sure with this one that he wanted a little love them, as far as them calling him to say, hey, we're going to pick this quarterback, hey, it's nothing against you, but that, and he just, his feelings were hurt probably because they picked quarterback and trying to push him out the door like they did all the same thing with Favre and him.
Right, but
at the end of the day, gentlemen, they owe that man no explanation on who and what they decide to do with their draft picks. All right. Now, yes, the Green Bay Packers are structured where it's still owned by hundreds of people. And I mean hundreds of people. And if you go to Wisconsin, or if there's I'm gonna give him a shout out because I know he listens to the show now. Dr. Alex Rosemary out of Tampa Bay General, and he is a stockholder of the Green Bay Packers, and he paid an exorbitant amount of money to be a stockholder of the Green Bay Packers. But that is his he's got 3 beautiful daughters. He's got a beautiful wife, a beautiful home. He's got a 54-foot yacht. But his most cherished possession is his stocks. Is his stock of the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm. And those are no different than the season holder for the Giants. This is a 26-year waiting period, right, Byron?
Yeah, long time.
You got to wait till someone dies.
And this guy actually has a season. He even has a season tickets for him and his wife to go every game, every home game. And the man lives in Tampa and flies up there for every home game. I don't know of a whole lot of avid fans like that, other than a couple of people with a whole lot of money. But
I had a couple of coworkers that got on a plane from New Jersey, went to Dallas games.
Yeah, I have a bunch of them. When I was living there, I'm at a sports bar and I ran into a bunch of people from Jersey that flew in for the Dallas game. I'm like, what are you doing here? They go, Victor? I'm like, what are you doing here? I got an apartment right down the street. What are you doing here?
This guy's been a season ticket holder since he was 16 years old.
But let me tell you what I heard, right? And it could be hearsay over hearsay, but apparently it came from Stephen A. Smith, and who had a reliable source. So I understand what you said, and I understand what Byron said, but this is what I heard. And if this is true, I don't agree with you, Andre, is because they said that Aaron Rodgers some time ago walked into a meeting and these guys were talking about certain things, and he came in and goes, "Hey guys, I have some ideas I'd like to talk to you guys about." And they pretty much just blew him off and said, "Just go play your job, do your job. We'll take care of it."
That actually happened. I knew that actually happened, but it wasn't the first time that's happened to him.
Okay, well, then that's a problem for me, man. I think when you're a quarterback at that level, you got to be able to have a conversation with your coach. You know what I mean? It's like
it's not. No. He wasn't trying to have a conversation with his coach. He was trying to have a conversation with the president, the president and the GM and the coach, and he wanted his way or the highway.
No, well, I didn't. I heard. Okay, that's fine, but the way it was expressed was he was just trying to give input, and they just blew his input off. They they didn't even want to hear it, right? And I think that's crazy. I mean, the one thing I love was the relationship Popovich in basketball had with his star players.
Yeah, but did you ever hear Eli Manning do that?
No. Yeah, but Eli Manning was at Aaron Rodgers. You heard, look, Brady didn't like what was going on over there, and whatchamacallit, and
or even Peyton Manning. You ever hear him do that? Walk in and say, "Well, I want this, wait a second, whatever."
But wait, time out. You don't know that because Peyton Manning literally called the plays on the field.
Calling the plays on the field and making personnel decisions are two totally different things.
I understand that. But making plays in an entire series is pretty powerful. I mean, he literally would just get – when they had that rush offense, he kept calling different plays. That was amazing to me.
Peyton probably was doing that when he played at Tennessee. He probably was calling the plays from his Tennessee days. He's done that for decades, probably.
Well, I got a good story for you.
I knew 3 GAs that were part of that Tennessee team, or that were part of those Tennessee teams over at over there in Knoxville while Peyton Manning was there, and all 3 GAs tell me the same thing. It was the way Philip Fulmer prepared his quarterbacks. He prepared that. He made sure that they knew what the game plan was, and they knew what the 5 options were per scheme. Let's say they're going nickel. They're going up against nickel. Okay, I want this personnel. You got these 5 plays with this personnel against nickel. Okay. Let's say they're going to go quarter, half. all right, I want 11 personnel, and here's the 5 plays that you could choose from. It wasn't necessarily that the guy had a wealth of knowledge of the entire playbook in his mind. He was coached in such a way that he knew a battery of plays against certain defensive schemes with the personnel that he had on the field.
I got you. I got one for you, though, a guy who did have it. So Jimmy Johnson, right, is coaching the University of Miami, the Big U, baby. And his quarterback was
Vinny Testaverde.
No, but the one before
Bernie Kosar.
Bernie Kosar was so smart because Kosar was younger than Testaverde. Actually, Kosar was one of the younger quarterbacks. He's already got his degree. Jimmy Johnson would get so upset with him because he would want Jimmy Johnson, you're in practice. So Jimmy Johnson wants to see how this practice plays, right? How this play performs. He said Kosar was driving him nuts because Kosar would walk the line and continually change the play because he was that smart. I mean, he knew, nope, that ain't going to work. Kosar, he had to pull him aside. I don't care what you see right now. In the game, that's okay. But I need to see this play practice. That's a smart guy. Yep. Okay. Now he did okay in the pros. I'm just telling you that I always thought that was a great story.
Okay. He's a god around here in Ohio.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Kosar, but that's Ohio. So considering that they want him in Canton, and Canton is the Gold Jackets. Okay,
I think that's pretty damn good.
I'll be happy. I'm a Kosar guy. He's also super smart and so forth. But technically, he played for Baltimore Ravens.
Whoa!
When Kosar played for the Browns, that team left and went to Baltimore. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay, so
in that case, the Colts are also Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. It's hard to tell who's who, right? Houston is Tennessee, isn't it?
Yeah.
Giants are the Giants.
Me no sabo.
All right, so what else we got going on before we wrap this up, Byron? You got anything happening that you wanted to talk about? What's happening with in the NFL's getting a little quiet, other than Aaron Rodgers, and a lot of these trade rumors are going on with these players, and I'm happy with the Giants and who they're signing.
Yeah.
I'm really happy. But, unfortunately, I'll have to admit that I was just reading an article about, the NFC's the least of the East. And they said after this year, the Giants will be looking for a quarterback.
Well, you figure they'll have two picks in the first round. So, you don't have to blow a gasket like you did this time when, they traded down or everything. So you'll be fine, next year. I'm
okay. I'm happy now, but I mean,
you wouldn't have.
I was happy now because I had my excitement was there. But what they were saying is that they were going to be the worst of the. They said they were going to win. I forgot. It was terrible. I don't even want to tell you. No, there was no. They said the winner, the conference champion of the NFC East will be 10-7. He goes, that's sad because last year he said every other team had a winning record. And the internet.
Did I say 7 games?
Well, they said the winner would be 10-7. The Giants are supposed to be worse according to them, but I don't think so. I think the Giants are going to be the team, in my opinion. I think they got the least problems. So I think that's what's happening. And I still want to see what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. I think you think he'll retire. I think he'll just. He didn't want to get fined.
No, there's no fines. No fines this year.
No fines?
No fines this year. All he has to claim is that he is afraid of COVID.
But I would use that too.
But he showed up.
But yeah, no fines this year. As long as he's meeting physical during private and physicals, then no fines.
You know what's funny? There was a guy, I don't know his name, but there was a gentleman that signed a big contract, and with the Packers, and they were saying, and he was saying that Aaron never spoke to him about anything, right? And would have changed my decision on signing because of the money that he got. But it's almost like kind of hypocritical, right? You're asking for player involvement from your GM and your coaches, and then the guys that are re-signing because they're expecting you to be playing in their game. I mean, Byron, I don't think that's even playing ground.
They're trying to be like the NBA, where the players want to dictate what's going on, and the NFL is not going to have that. They have.
No. They're not. They're not going to have it. That's why I was impressed that didn't Keyshawn even get invited? Why did I think
he didn't even make it to the top 30, man?
Oh yeah, I'm glad he's got his analyst career, but I was wondering if he even made it, because remember, he was one of the first guys in the NFL. Well, they didn't take his crap at Tampa; they cut him, and he was a star still. Then they said goodbye. It had nothing to do with Keyshawn. For me, it wasn't personal to Keyshawn, but for me, being a football enthusiast and loving the NFL as the best organization in sports, I was proud that they weren't going to take anything, right? And that Diva stuff, anything could happen. You got to go.
It was, correct me if I'm wrong, it was Chucky who.
Yeah. It was Chucky.
Now, the one thing I'm going to put on your guys' radar is
you got any TMZ on Chucky?
No, I don't have anything on that. What I do have on TMZ on is basically the league is discussing the possibility of adding 2 more expansion teams. 2 teams. We shall see. They're talking about making 2 more teams, putting 2 teams. We don't know where. They just they like the idea now that they've expanded the season to add 2 more teams.
What did that expand the game